Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and I hope that you guys appreciated a little bit of the switch up with today's routine. We didn't start with the non-Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile instead. We started with the play video, which, by the way, how did I do? Did you enjoy those matches, or did you think I was being trolled as well? Either way, we are doing a retro Pokemon deck again. And this one is also from the Team Rocket era. And I nicknamed this one the Team Rocket Executive a long time ago because the monsters just made me feel more like this would be less of a Jesse and James type deal and more of the higher ups. So we're going to give away the bag real quick. It's 10 Water Energies and 12 Psychic. Again, this deck was built a long time ago. This would probably be more of like a 9 and 9 if I were rebuilding this today. It'd just be nice to be even, to be split down the middle. But I think you'll see why I gave a preference to Psychic here in a second. So let's go over that portion of the deck first. The first thing we'd be using is 3 copies of the Team Rocket Drowsy. Now this one was kind of goofy, and again, it does have a Pokemon power. It can immediately on 2 energy, 1 being Psychic, put the defending monster to sleep. And then additionally, once per turn before your attack, you may flip a coin. If heads, the opponent falls asleep. If tails, Drowsy will, or your active Pokemon. Again, not sure if powers could be used from the bench. I believe that they could. So again, if Drowsy is not currently out, it could be a way of trying to mitigate that and get at your opponent. And this is a weird split because this one is a 3-1 to the Dark Hypno. And again, like the rest of the Dark Pokemon, you may have remembered this from the last deck, not a huge boost to the hit points. However, we are doing 20 on 1 with the Side Punch, as well as Bench Manipulation, which is a 20 times. So the opponent flips a number of coins equal to the number of monsters on their bench. This does 20 times the number of tails. Do not apply weakness and resistance for this attack. So again, it's kind of goofy and it's kind of fun. So again, this leads off my Psychics. The next ones are fan favorites as far as I'm concerned. It is going to be 4 copies, and we're using the Team Rocket set Abra. It wasn't as fragile as the initial base set. I want to say that one only had 30 hit points. This one's going to have 40. Vanish. Basically, you teleport the monster plus any damage. Just disappears. Doesn't count as a knockout, but you will lose any energy and or trainer tools attached to this Abra. Again, the time period where this was being played, trainer tools weren't a thing yet. That is like Gen 2 cards, and I'm very fuzzy on whether or not Gen 1 cards could interact with Gen 2. And then Psyshock, 50% chance for a Paralyze on a coin flip. So again, kind of fun. Next up, and we're going to go with the 4-3-2. We got to have Dark Kadabra, times 3. Pokemon Power Matter Exchange. Once per turn before the attack, you may discard a card from your hand to draw a card. And this was just generically great as long as you were going to play Abra and play Psychics. You didn't even have to play Psychics as long as you were just benching the Abra and using the Kadabra for draw power. That was fine. Mind Shock doesn't apply weakness and resistance and does a flat 30 on 2. So again, Dark Kadabra, very good. Next up, Dark Alakazam. And again, I got a foil and a non-foil. This one's a lot easier to see than the coughing, wheezing was the last time we did Pokemon. Again, two attacks. Mind Shock, you'll notice, is the same as it was on the Dark Kadabra. It's a little more powerful, takes an extra energy, still not applying weakness and resistance. And then you have Teleport Blast. You may switch this with one of your benched Pokemon. Do the damage before you switch the characters. So again, this was allowing me to switch the Alakazam. Again, 60 hit points, not very sturdy, still very fun. And then we played some water, obviously, which leads into one of my favorites. We are using the second base variants here, but you guys could use the base set as well. It's the same card for the Squirtle. Withdraw has a 50% chance to negate damage and effects from the next attack, and Bubble has a 50% chance to paralyze. Next, we're going to need some Dark Wartortles. if we're going to go all the way. Double Slap is flip coins 10 times heads. Mirror Shell, if an attack does damage to Wartortle during the opponent's turn, even if it gets knocked out, then you attack the defending Pokemon for an equal amount of damage. So it is a good way. Like, again, if you find yourself in a position where your opponent only has the one character left, you still have somebody on your bench, their attack would knock out your Wartortle. You may use the Mirror Shell to just threaten the fact that they would not be able to just knock you out and take the game. Next up, 2 copies Dark Blastoise. And this is one of the gems of my collection. Hydro Cannon on here. Does 30 damage plus 20 more for every energy attached to it, but cannot add an additional, you can only cap out at an extra 40. So this attack could do a variable up to 70. And then the Rocket Tackle does 10 damage to itself. Flip coin if heads, prevent all damage done during the next turn, not including any other effects. So again, if he'd be poisoned, paralyzed, or something during the next turn, that will happen, but he won't take any damage. And again, does a great 40 points offensively. To help round out our pokes, we are going to be using a playset of the Eevee from the Team Rocket set. Can do Tackle on 1, Sand Attack on 2. Both attacks deal 10 damage. The Sand Attack says the defending Pokemon tries an attack, they have to flip a coin. If tails, they fail their attack. Nothing happens. And then it rounds out to 3 copies of the Dark Vaporeon. Now again, this has been one of my favorite pokes ever since, like the beginning of, really when I started playing VGC in like Gen 4, because it just has a huge defense, it might have been special defense, but it is a defensive tank. And ever since we got Scald, that's just awesome. Bite for 30 on 3, Whirlpool for 20 on 3. Also has the effect to remove an energy card attached to the opposing Pokemon. So again, you can whittle down their ability to generate attacks, or in the case of like my Dark Blastoise, you can weaken the attack. If you were unlucky enough to have to play up against like base set Charizard, and they were using DCEs or double colorless energy cards, you could take that one off to make it near impossible for them to use Fire Spin on the next turn. It was just the best one. And again, Espeon didn't exist yet. Otherwise, that would be in here too. So that's the monsters. And again, like I said, it is 10 water and 12 psychic energy. Give me a second. I'll clear up the field, and I'll be back with a handful of trainer cards. All right, and those trainers are. And again, remember, if I had more of these, I would happily swap down some energy. Again, being at 10 and 12, that gives me a 4 card slots to bring them both down to 9. One of the initial ones would be to add a 3rd copy of Bill. And again, Bill just allows us to draw 2 cards immediately. So this is fantastic. 2 Gusts of Wind. I probably wouldn't increase this one, but you could. And this will allow you to choose an opponent's bench monster, switch it with their active. 2 copies of Potion. Allows you to remove up to 2 damage counters from your character, so heal for 20. Switch. Switch would be changed up to at least 2. So again, we could add a switch, 1, 2 switches, 1 Bill, and you could add another potion. That could be perfect switch up. And again, switch is the Gust of Wind for my own side. And since we're switching through the effect of a trainer card, we do not have to worry about the retreat costs, which is fantastic. And again, we're going to be using 2 copies of the Boss's Way. Again, maybe you want to up this to 3. So 3 Build, 3 Gust of Wind, 2 Switch, and 3 Boss's Way. It's a perfect way to get to the same 60 cards. Real quick, search your deck for an evolution with Dark in the name. Show it to the opponent, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. Again, you could just maximize this and drop, not even bring in the Gust of Wind. Go for the extra build, the extra switch, and 2 more of this. Because again, while we're playing this, one thing that's very important to understand is like, cool, you got Drowsy, that's Hypno. You got Abra and you got Alakazam, but you don't have Kadabra. boom, that's Kadabra. Or vice versa, you got Abra and Kadabra, boom, that's the Alakazam. Same thing for the Wartortle and the Blastoise. So it really helps, like, I don't want to say rectify, but it helps simplify the play when dealing with these stage 1 and stage 2s, especially since they're more specific. So again, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, you guys could choose to do the things to support the channel, and those would of course be likes and comments being the easiest and quickest. Subscription if you haven't already. If you have, thank you. And maybe let your friends know about the channel. But for right now, that's it. And if you guys come back in just a little bit, and I'll tell you what, we'll put it on the screen real quick. We do have our 3 times Seto Kaiba Union combination deck from the Battle City box. So again, in about an hour, this one will go live as well. So again, it'll make 3 videos for Monday, 3 videos for Sunday. And I may just double up the rest of the week with the Speed Duel stuff and give you 2 Speed Duel decks a week. Because again, we got to make it through the rest of the initial box and the GX box. And then by that point, we're going to be at the structure deck. And I'd really like to give that the attention it's going to require. So again, thank you for watching. I hope that you guys all enjoyed it. And do me one favor, guys. If you don't do anything else, do this one. I want you guys to go out and try to have a great day. And I hope to see you guys again next time. Later.